Hi, everybody. Christine here. This episode I'm bringing you today is from my monthly motivation. It's called Cutting Cords, Etheric Cords. So, what are cords? Cords of attachment are usually an energetic tie which is created between two people or between a person and a situation, an object, or a past issue, which still remains in the present moment. Energetic cords are attached when there are any dense feelings or emotions like fear, worry, anger, or negativity in an interaction. These cords then have a way of keeping those attached in a holding pattern where the past challenges continue to repeat into the present. Cords of attachment bring old feelings into new interactions, and it can leave those who have them attached feeling frustrated, tired, drained, irritated, and stuck. Cords of attachment contain energetic patterns which are disruptive, painful, limiting, and dense. And many of the clients and students that I've taught, we've all noticed the same thing. We do have those feelings of being held down, feeling like we can't move forward. And I always say, when you're feeling like that, it's time to check in. You may have some cords attached to you from something or someone. So why do we cut cords? Cutting cords of attachment can help you to heal, to help you to move on, and to let go of the past and step into your power and into new possibilities for loving interactions. When cords are cut, you're opening up to having beautiful, high vibrational interactions with others, centered in love and joy, which then create beneficial spiritual ties, shining very brightly between you and uplifting all involved. Cutting cords can help heal your relationships with someone, or it can help you completely cut all ties so that you can both move on. And that is so very true. Many times we think, like, oh, I'm over that person or whatever, whether it be a relationship, a coworker, even family members sometimes. It can be very negative, and we connect cords with that person. And, you think you're over it, but in all reality, you haven't really cut all ties. You really need to check in, because sometimes, you say you're okay with something, but really you're still angry about it. And you'll notice it because it'll keep popping up in your thoughts. You'll keep talking about it. And those are just signs that whatever's there is still there. So, empaths, beware. If you're empathic, compassionate, and sensitive, you may even pick up small cords from strangers in passing as you subconsciously attempt to uplift them. Cut those cords. You're much more effective uplifting others in love and light rather than taking on their pain and density. So become aware of your pattern, and with your awareness, you can shift all that. Very true. Empaths, big-hearted people who just want to help the world. And it's great, but if we don't ground ourselves and protect ourselves, we pick up everything from everyone. If you've ever walked through the mall and you suddenly start feeling drained and feeling down, you may be picking up things from other people. So be very careful with that. Same thing with loved ones. Everything may be fine in your family relationship, your romantic relationship, but if that other person is going through a situation and you leave yourself so wide open to it, you may be connecting cords to that person as a means of trying to help them. So just be aware, because empaths are very sensitive and pick up everything. So here's a few signs that can help you to show if you have cords. If you've noticed that you have physical aches and pains that don't seem to have a cause or a reason, many times people tell me, oh, I've been dealing with this pain for so long, and I went to the doctors and they ran all kinds of tests and they can't find anything. That is definitely a sign that something is going on with cords in that area. Next thing is repeated thoughts about someone or something that feels heavy and burdensome. And that's what I was just mentioning. You think you're over something or someone, but yet you keep thinking about it or keep talking about it. It's because it's still there haunting you. The next thing is worrying about someone or something all the time. And this is a big one, I think, in parenting. After my mom had passed away, someone did some healing work on me and told me that I still had cords attached to my mother. And I says, well, I've made peace with my mother and I should be all set. And they said, no, she made cords with you. So my mom was she looked like the strong person on the outside, but I think deep down she had that soft spot that always worried about me and my sister. And I think even in passing, she still connected that cord and was holding on. So we don't need to be attached to people or situations. Fear is one thing, worry is something, but again, it's an emotion. Feel it and then leave it on the side. Don't hold it and attach to what you're worried about or who you're worried about. The next thing is stuck feelings, which are very uncomfortable. Many times we go through that, it feels like, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Why do I feel so stuck? They're uncomfortable in that moment, but let me assure you, they do pass. And check for cords, because sometimes we could still be connected to the old things we used to do, the old patterns, and we haven't really let go of them completely. And that's one of the reasons why we're stuck, is because we can't move forward until we let go of the past. Next is taking on other people's problems. Again, parents are good for that. When their kids are going through stuff, right away we want to fix everything. But rest assured, let them fix their own things. They have to learn. And unless they're really small, then you can help them to figure out resolutions to problems, no matter how tiny they are or how big they are. But yeah, taking on other people's problems, it's a tough thing. The best thing you can do there is tell that person, say, I understand you're going through some stuff, and if you need some help, I'm here to help you, or I'm here to listen. We can't take on their things, because everybody needs to learn, and everybody needs to go through their life lessons. Because if we do everything for everybody, nobody learns anything. The next thing is ongoing guilt and shame about mistakes from the past when you have already done your best to make amends. Again, I've already talked about this. Sometimes there's things in the past that we just don't let go of. And again, you might think you did, but you may not have. Or you could be very well aware, of something that's happened. So ongoing guilt, maybe you have a parent who passed away and you're wondering, did I do everything I could have to help that parent? And maybe it's like, well, did I make the right choice? Maybe I should have made a different choice. Maybe, and so that part of you has that guilt that still connects to that part of the situation. So again, it's talking about ongoing guilt and shame about mistakes. Mistakes are mistakes. Those are things that are going to happen in our lives. Take the mistakes as lessons and learn from them. And trust in yourself and in your guidance that certain mistakes are the right ones for you to learn, and you never should worry about whether or not you've made the right choice. And I always say too, because sometimes, it's like, okay, do I do A or B? And it's like, I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'll go with A. And then a year or two down the road, it's like, oh, maybe I should go with B. But I always say that, if you keep questioning yourself in a positive mindset, that it's just showing you that, yes, you made the right choice, But anything from your past, definitely just let it go. Make amends with it, let it go. Next thing is addictions of any kind, whether they be drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, food, shopping, whatever it is. Addictions can be a lot of cords, for the most part. Any kind of the addictions as far as smoking, drugs, and alcohol, a lot of those are attached to anger. We need to let go of our anger and let go of what causes our anger. So you may find a lot of cords there. And lastly, any kind of obsessions. When you're totally obsessed with something, you have definitely connected yourself to that with a cord the size of a tree trunk. You need to cut that off. I know people that have talked to me in sessions and mentioning how, someone they couldn't let go of, and in the meditation they noticed that their cord was so thick that Archangel Michael had to come in and use a saw, which sounds funny and sounds strange, but it's how it's shown to us. And some people do have those connections. So we need to cut those cords and help release those obsessions, because the obsessions are not always healthy ones. So what is cord cutting? Cutting cords is the energetic process of cutting negative and fear-based attachments from your life experience to prevent them from continuing to block your energy, vitality, and well-being. And when you cut and release a cord into the light, you're no longer energetically engaged with that pattern of negativity. Your perspective is immediately uplifted, and you're able to make more easily see the silver lining and the blessings through awareness in that present moment. And when you cut the cords between you and another, consciously or unconsciously, they'll feel it too. And they may even reach out and contact you. If this is the case, establish boundaries, surround yourself with love and light, and stand up for yourself so the cord doesn't reattach. Whether they physically feel it or emotionally feel it, not really sure. It all depends on the person. I would say I've noticed in the past where cords have been cut and a person will say, gee, I thought of you the other day. Don't know why, but I did. And usually that's because that's when the cord was cut. So they do notice it in that instance. But yes, if the person contacts you, by all means, have boundaries. Stand up for yourself, because it's true. Cords, the minute you're going to let that person back into your life and create more negativity, just like in the past, cords are going to reattach, and that's not healthy. So do your best to create those boundaries and just continue to move forward. So how do you cut cords? So there's a few different ways you can cut cords. You can simply ask archangels to cut and release the cords into the light. But if you use this quickie method, don't be surprised if you do this and the cord is quickly reattached. Just don't say, oh, hey, cut my cords, and then, continue throughout your day. There's not a lot of emphasis or energy put into that. So for better results and lasting results in cutting the cords of attachment, awareness is the key. And this means you need to become aware of and understand the cord and how it was attached to you energetically in the first place. So loving, balanced relationships do not create cords. And so if a cord is present, it means something was out of balance. So what was it? The awareness is key to cutting a cord once and for all. So because with it, you can change the pattern of what's going on. So yeah, in good relationships, whether it be romantic, work, whatever, there should not be cords. And if there is, again, check in what's going on, what's creating this cord, and if you know your energy system well enough, like your chakras and whatnot, you'll see where that cord is attached. Is it attached to your throat chakra? Maybe that person's not allowing you to speak. If it's attached to your solar plexus, maybe they're not allowing you to be in your power. So kind of look at it that way and see what's causing it and what the unbalanced part is, so that you can work on it and fix it. And lastly, cutting cords with Archangel Michael. So very simply, find a comfortable place where you can sit and not be disturbed. You're going to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Then call on Archangel Michael and say, Archangel Michael, I am calling on you today to please help me get rid of all negative cords that are attached to me. Now, if you know who they are or what it is, picture the person or the event with whom you need to cut cords with. And if you're not sure who it is or what it is, Allow Archangel Michael to show you and tell you where it all comes from. Please remove all negative energy that surrounds us and is connecting us. Please help me cut the cords of any energy that is not mine and not serving my highest purpose, that is of, and then name the person or situation. Please cut all the cords and remove all the negative energy from my heart, my home, my body, my workplace, and anywhere else I may be attached to it. Sit for a few minutes, imagining long silver cords flowing out of your body and connected to the person that you called, and in your mind, see Archangel Michael bringing down his mighty sword and slicing those cords. Now, as Archangel Michael cuts the cords, envision yourself being filled with beautiful white light as Archangel Michael gets rid of all that energy that is not yours and sends it back to the person you named with absolute love, and feel yourself getting a little lighter. Give thanks to Archangel Michael and send out blessings and love to the person that you've let go, and don't forget to send blessings and love to yourself. And after you've done this visualization, you might feel lighter, you may feel emotional or even tired. This is why myself, I like to do this right before I go to bed. This way I can just go right off to sleep. Your feelings will balance out over the next few days. So look forward to another podcast, which will strictly be a full-out meditation of cutting cords with Archangel Michael. This was kind of a preview. It gives you a heads up of how you can do it, but I will create a podcast specifically for just that full meditation. So look for it soon. And lastly, always be sure to check in with yourself at least once a week, as cords can attach anytime, not just when relationships end or when there's unbalance. So I send you my love and my blessings and a complete gratitude. I love you all, and thank you so much.